impressive, and it's fun to work alongside of you coaches and be able to help and support. And, you know, it's all just a big journey. Okay, I'm going to call Deacon in here. You guys grab your foam rollers. We're still a little bit ahead of ourselves, and we'll get going with this hybrid workout today. Come on, Deacon. Hey, come on. Come on. Good boy. Here we go. Okay, so for today's session, I want to make sure that you have your mini band, and it's starting to get to that point where you kind of need to start paying attention to the ones you have. So I've got kind of a 1, 2, and 3 action going here with mine. So I've got a light one, a number 2, and a number 3. So it's kind of going to be mini band day. If you only have light ones or only one kind, you're going to need to order up a little bit. They're not expensive and they're good to have. Okay, so let's foam roll for a second. Keep your mini bands close. I'm just going to use this foam roller. We're definitely going to be using our dumbbells as well. Numbers 1, 2, and 3. Good boy. Okay, go lay down. All right. Starting in the upper back, be gentle up here. Just kind of working through that thoracic spine. If the swimming or the cycling is starting to come up, you're going to start losing some of that mobility through the thoracic spine. So we always want to start with a little bit. Deacon just wants to hang out. We're just going to start with a little bit of working through that. And one of my athletes made an observation. It's like, it seems like I'm not as spicy. The foam rolling is getting easier. And I will tell you that tissue starts to adapt to care. If you start caring about the tissue and moving and mobilizing, it's not going to be as spicy as it used to. It's not going to get, as tight. Your body's learning to adapt and to move with ease, even under tension and duress and stress. Deacon, hey, go lay down or something. Go find something to do. Working through the lat. Good. He needs a puppy, a brother. I'm thinking we're gonna get him a new baby. So I think we're on a list with a couple of different places to get a new one. So he has someone to play with. Okay, good. So we work through the upper back. And then what I want you to do next is take one arm and reach it down your back. And then take the other arm and see if you can touch your fingers together. Okay? So start it straight up, drop it behind your back, then take the other one and see if you can get both sides. I can't. There's probably a little bit too much tightness on my right side, all those years of throwing the football or something. Okay, right arm up, reach behind. That one I can touch my fingertips. Breathe into it. And then kind of unwind that and shake that out. And then arm way up. Drop it behind the head. And see if you can touch those ones behind. I don't know how far I am away, but this feels like I got a ways to go. So we want to just roll the shoulder to the back, roll the other shoulder like big backstroke to the back. Let's go 5 again. 1, 2, 3, 4. If you're just getting on, welcome. And 5, you didn't miss much. We just had a little chat. We did a little foam rolling through the upper back. 4, 5, 1 extra 1. Good. Shake those arms out. All right, let's work through the hips. Foam rolling, reactive foam rolling. So we're working through the back side of the hip. This intensifies the foam rolling. So let's leave both feet on the floor. Just work through the hips. See how that's feeling. Not too spicy for me, hopefully not too spicy for you. Again, the more you foam roll, the more the tissue adapts to the training load and the more malleable it becomes and it maintains so that you can keep training more. And that's the biggest goal some days, is really just, can you keep training at the training load being given to you without going to that small little motion control mode where you don't move very much or you don't move very well. So both glutes feel pretty good. Let's intensify that. Open up the joint. So let's take your right foot, put it on the left knee, and just kind of work through that. Nice and easy. You can feel a little more tension through that hip, through that glute med, through the piriformis. If you're feeling that really pretty spicy around that sits bone and up a little bit, that's going to be the piriformis, and we want to make sure that we get more glute activation. So that's kind of what we're going to focus on today. So we want to get deep into that hip by crossing the right foot over the left knee. And let's do the same thing on the other side. So now we're going to go left foot on the right knee, and that opens up this joint. So if the knee is bent, the foot is up, we're on that side of the hip. Even sometimes I'll demonstrate this for people and they'll still do the other hip. So if we want to be on the left hip, if the left foot is up on the knee, and work through that. This is a little bit more tension into those muscles. And so we've got a little bit more spice to deal with in the way that it feels. It's a little more pinny. It's not as achy or dull as we do the foam rolling. So just working through that. Good and good. Now it would be very easy to ignore the lower leg. We're not going to do that. I want to get right in the belly of the muscle today. So I'm going to go both legs and just kind of toggle back and forth through the calf muscles. Anytime that anybody's dealing with a plantar fascia issue, it typically isn't a plantar fascia issue. It's typically tightness somewhere up the back line. And the back line of the body starts all the way, well, I would say it actually finishes down in through the toes and in through the plantar fascia, but it goes all the way through the heel, through that Achilles tendon, through the soleus, into the gastrocs, into the hamstrings, into the glutes, all the way through the back, and it actually finishes at the forehead. There is a fascial line that somewhere in that line, you're not handling the tension that you're putting into your body, and the plantar is what hits the ground first, and it's usually a victim. So if you're feeling a little bit of spicy through your calves, if you've been running some hills, riding your bike a lot, because a lot of people ride with their toes down, and they're not working through that dorsiflexion and plantar flexion. Just pay attention to that and just give it a little bit of circulation using the foam roller. I can get to the lateral aspect. I've been starting to bring my run intensity up, and I'm working through the lateral aspect of the calf, and that's spicy. That doesn't feel good to me. So paying attention to that and starting to use my gua sha tool. If you're not familiar with that, let me know. I'll show you guys the gua sha. But that right through there for me is a big issue. And that can actually wreak havoc for me. So I got to be careful with that. So working through the bottom part of the calf. All right, take that foam roller away. We're just going to put the feet nice and wide outside of the hips and just drop that right knee into the midline. And then drop the left knee into the midline. So just a little happy hips. Number one, drop it in. Make sure it's not a short hip. Open that hip up. The wider the feet, the better. And you should feel just a little bit of a stretch through that quad. 2, we'll go 10, 3, hip comes off the ground. This hip comes off the ground. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, laying on the back. Laying on the back. Grab the back of the hamstring on the left side. Extend straight up through the heel. 1, we got 10 of these. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're getting an active stretch. 10 on the hamstring here. So keep your head back if you can. Try not to have your head forward. Head back on the ground. 1, reach through the heel. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, good, 9, and 10. Awesome. We're going to go right back to that figure 4. So the left foot on the right knee. Reach through the hole and just hang on to that. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch to the other side. Reach through the hole, head back. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Other side. Reach through the hole. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last one. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, so let's grab the number 1 mini band. This is the lightest one we have. We're going to take that and put it just above the knees. Okay, so right there, band above the knees. The knees are going to be just about a foot in front of your hips. So don't have them way back here. You want them up just a little bit. We want these hips stacked. So the tendency with this clamshell motion is to open up the hips. I want you to stack them one directly on the other. You can put the hand in front, heels together. We've got a nice light band. 2, we're doing a little bit of clamshell. 3, we got 1 set of 15. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We're looking for heat. 13, 14, 15. Obviously, if you don't have a band, just do the movement. It's still going to be beneficial. Bring your knees up so they're about 1 foot in front of your hips. Heels are together, hand forward, stack the hips. Here we go. 15, 1, 2, 3. This side feels different. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, keeping with the same band, I want you to put it on the top and the bottom of your feet. So from your side view here, you can see I've got the band on the top. So if I sat straight up, I'd have my feet holding the band and straight back down. Want to grab that band with one hand. And all we're going to do is just a nice little seated row. Okay, so we've got the band with one hand and just row. It doesn't matter if you've got a heavier band and you can't get quite as far. It's fine. It's still connecting to that upper back. We're going to go 10. 1, little bit of rotation. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, just 10, 9, and 10. And then other side, just keep those feet about hip width apart. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, one more, and 10. Okay, so leave the band right where it is, same place. We're gonna lay down onto the back. From this position, we should be getting really comfortable with the low back flat to the ground. I'm starting to really recognize that as soon as I go into this position, my pelvis immediately goes into neutral. Some of us got a couple of new folks on the table today or on the broadcast here. So let's go through the motions of laying back, activate pubic bone to belly button. There's a low abdominal contraction that happens. And it doesn't have to over happen. It just has to happen enough that I can no longer put my hand behind my low back. Keep that low abdominal pressure. Nice flat low back. Breathe into that. In through your nose, out through your mouth. Let's go 2 more big breaths. In through the nose, out through the mouth. 1 more. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Okay, we've established a nice neutral pelvis. Raise the feet up. I want to put the hand right on the front of the left quad, okay? The right leg is going to push all the way to the ground and come back. Left hand stays right on the knee. It doesn't move. I'm not grabbing the knee. It's just placed there. 2, hold that pubic bone to belly button. 3, 4, 5, we got 10 of these. 6, 7, working the hip flexor on the left. 8, 9, 1 more, and 10. Reset, make sure your low back is strong to the ground. Right hand, right knee. 1. My right hip is so much stronger than my left. 2, 3, 4. And that's not unusual. I'm not broken or anything, but I'm definitely better on one side. 7, 8, 9, and 10, and feet to the ground and relax. We got 1 more round of this. We're going to start with the seated row. Okay, so sit back up. Really establish that nice strong posture. So you should be able to sit in this position. Nice flat legs. They're not half bent. Should have nice straight knees. Hips on the ground. Reach 2 hands overhead. And just sit nice and tall, 90 degrees at your hips. Hold it. 2 more big breaths. 1 more big breath. If there's tightness, that hip hinge is that you're not going to be that comfortable here. So there's tightness through the low back. You don't want that. So that's why we're getting stronger, because then you can hold these positions and just be way more comfortable. Okay, so let's go right arm first. Grab the band, sit up tall. Now there's tension. There's tension in my body from the band. 1, nice little rotation. 2, 3, 4, 5. Warming up that fascial system. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good. Shake that out. Other side. Sit up nice and tall. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1 more. Now, hopefully nobody's mini bands broke, but here's the reality of the situation. They're gonna break eventually. That's why they're not very expensive. So if you need more mini bands, they usually come on Amazon. You just type in, you search for mini band, mini exercise bands, and you can usually get a set of 5 for like $14. I should check, make sure I'm telling you the right thing, but I bet that's pretty close. Okay, left hand on left knee. Right leg's doing the extension this time. 10 reps. 2. Pubic bone to belly button. Stay strong. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Right hand on right knee. Change it. 1, 2, 3. The other thing that you're going to notice is to hold that band in my right foot is working that anterior tib muscle. It's the front side of the calf. 8, 9, and 10. So don't underestimate that there's a lot going on with that. Okay, good job. Let's take it into a lateral half kneeling position. So from right there, we're pretty starting to get warmed up through the hips. We're a little bit warmed up through the upper back. We're going to go lateral half kneeling. We want to push the hips back and just come back forward. We'll use the arms as counterbalance. Hips back. 1. We're looking for high hamstring, posterior fibers of Magnus, and I'll explain that one in a second. But you just want to push your hips back. 1. Ready? Push your hips back. 2. So you want that butt to go back towards the foot. 3, 4, 5. Change sides. Lateral half kneeling. That leg's way out to the side. You might immediately get an adductor stretch. 1, 2, 5 reps. 3, good. 4, 1 more. And 5. All right, let's take that on up. Shake it out. We're going into a nice wide stance. Same thing here. We want to go wide stance. Push your hips back so that they go way beyond your heels. Push back, touch the ground, come back up. If for some reason you're not quite at the ground yet, let's go ahead and use the foam roller as a prop. You can also use a stool. There's all different kinds of people in this group. There's people that are going to get to the floor, and there's people that are just going to tip and tap the top of a footstool. 2, my biggest thing for you guys is that we are working the hip hinge, butt to the back, hands maybe just to a step stool, and come back. 2, there are times of the day and times of the week when that step stool is like all I got because I'm working so hard standing and training and I'm just fatigued. So there's no way in heck I'm going to reach the ground. So throughout the week, expect that it's going to change and shift. Okay, right there, tap and 1, tap and 2, 3, 4, good, push your hips back, 5 and 6, we're going to go 10, 7, let your hips come to the front a little bit, good, 8, 9, good, and 10. All right, let's go into a nice long split stance. Hang on just a second, I'll be right back. Turn that light up just a little bit. Okay, so you're gonna come right at me here. We're gonna go into a nice long split stance. Check out your back foot right now. In that back foot, you're probably starting to see a little bit of this, where the heel is to the inside like that. And what we want is to have it be to the outside without losing your lead foot. Okay, so lead foot, pressure on the toe, and the back foot, let's just turn sideways and turn back. So your hips both face me, and then they open. 2, bring them back. Open. 3, open. 4, open. 5. Okay, same thing other side. Back foot, hips are straight. We're going to go open and close. 1, open, 2, open, 3, open, 4, open, and 5. Okay, staying in that nice long stride. Now we're going to add hands to the front to the height of the heart. So they're straight out from the chest, right at chin height. We're going to go, make sure everybody has your left leg back, okay? Left leg back. We're going to go left thumb into right palm. We're going to open it up, elbow stays high, just like we're doing a big bow and arrow. And then the hip comes back and the arm comes back. 2, and then it comes back. 3, and then it comes back. 4, open that hip and back. 5, we got 10, 6, and back. 7, and back. Elbow, back elbow, nice and high. 8, 9, good, and 10, good. Okay, right leg is going to be back. I'll do it this way this time so you can see a little bit of a different angle. Okay, nice big breath, hands to the front. Right leg is back, so right palm is going to, right thumb is going to go into left palm. We're going to open, 1, and back. Open, elbow up, and back. That elbow up creates space so I can breathe through my right rib cage. 4, 5, and back. 6, and back. 7, good. 8, hips are moving so nicely. 9, back, and 10, and back. All right, shake that out. The body's pretty warm. We're going to go ahead and grab that number 1 mini band again. If you don't have the mini band, don't stress out, just do the movement, okay? So we're going to go left leg back, right arm forward, and now we're going to add some tension. 1, and back, okay? So it's not going to be perfect. That my tension doesn't start until the end of the band. So right there, 2, and back. 3, back. 4, 5, get tall. 6, when you're in this position, be tall. 8, 9, and 10. Same thing other side. We'll be right leg back, left thumb holds the band, elbow up. 1, 2, 3, your hips should be moving a little bit. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, so now we've added even more tension into the upper back. All right, I want you to grab your beefiest band. I don't think we even used the beefy band before, right? So I've got a big heavy blue one. It says it's number 3, but to me, it's going to be so hard. Okay, we're putting that band just above the knees. And from right there, we're going to push the hips back, hands to the front, and we're going body weight squat. Okay, as you look down, I don't want your feet turned out. I want your feet straight. Most of you know the cue, square up the outside of your feet. Tension is an anchoring out motion, okay? So right there, you should feel a little bow-legged. You're pushing out. And if you reach back into your glutes, you can feel that there's tension there, okay? Knees out, anchor out. From right there, we're gonna squat, reach your hands forward, and come right back. The hands forward is a counterbalance, so you can push your hips back. We're gonna go 15 body weight squats. 1, back up. 2, push out with the band. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, one more, and 15, and rest. That didn't feel overly comfortable for me. I don't know about you, but it's a newer movement. I'm used to working the inward anchor. This is working the complete hip. So we're anchoring out today. All right, let's do it again. We got 2 sets of 15, and then we'll move on. Square up the outsides of the feet, anchor out. 1, 2, 3, keep those anchors strong. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, keep going. 11, 12, better this time. 13, 14, good, and 15. All right, take that heavier band off. You're going to grab one of your number 2 dumbbells. Okay, so we only need one. I'm using the 15 today for my number 1. By the way, I'm loving my new dumbbells. Okay. We've got a number 2 dumbbell, but just one of them. All right. So we're going to be down in the half kneeling position. We're going to go shoulder press, number 2 dumbbell, 8 reps. We always want to think about decompression, right? So we're going to grab a weight and put it in our hand. We're immediately creating a compressive force into our spine. Even though it's a little bit offset, it's going to put a compressive force. So I want you to start thinking about using your breath, elevating your rib cage, hold the dumbbell nice and strong, and try not to lose any of the space. So we talk a lot about space when we do foundation training. We talk about thumb on the bottom rib, pinky on the hip bone, and then we do our breath work so that we learn to exhale and keep an elevated rib cage. So when we load, we want to use that same skill. Okay, so we're adding external load. We've got our number 2 dumbbell. We want to be decompressing through the ribs and the hips. We're going to go 10 reps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, decompress, 8, 9, and 10. I can feel my swim just a little bit. Like my 5 a.m. swim today. Okay, decompress, left arm, nice and strong, 10 reps. 1. 10 is about, it's strong, but it's not overly heavy. 4, 5, 6, 7. I would definitely not call this lifting heavy shit. 8, 9. Some of you know exactly what I mean. Some of you just think I swear. Dr. Stacy Sims talks a lot about lifting heavy stuff or lifting heavy shit. And we want to have a body that's ready, willing, and able to lift heavy things. But we need to get through the process of a healthy, happy fascial system, joints, core, be able to decompress before we start really working with heavy loads. And that's coming. 10 reps. 1, back to the first side. 2. We're just going to go 2 sets. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think one of the biggest benefits of this premium group, not only do we become friends and just get a little bit closer, but we're also constantly in the moment. We don't, I know a lot of you guys use my on-demand app. A lot of those things have been filmed like 10 months ago. And this time we can talk about current events. We can interact and we can stay current, and we can just keep moving forward at a probably a quicker clip than if you weren't here. So thank you for being here. All right, let's go left side. Nice and strong. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, and good. All right, so let's get back up to standing. That was a big push exercise. Let's go into another pulling exercise. We're going to use single leg. So we're going right arm and left leg. The first thing we want to do is just stand. If you're on a carpet or if you're on a yoga mat like I am, it's going to be a little bit harder to stabilize. But all we want to do now, stand on one foot, and we want to do just a little bit of a gentle shift forward. And you're going to feel your forefoot load, right? Everything in front of your heel will load. So holding the weight in your right hand, stand on your left foot, load into your big toe, shift forward, push down into your forefoot. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Little counterbalance to keep me upright. Okay, left hand holds the load, right foot. Take a look down at your toes right now, guys. You should be able to see between your toes. You should be able to see the ground between your toes, and that shows that your feet are spreading out, and we want that, okay? Right foot, left arm, strong forefoot, little bit of a forward shift. I can feel the glute turn on. I can feel tension in my forefoot. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Okay, so we're going to hang the dumbbell. You can see my dumbbell is now hanging straight down towards the ground. I want to set a narrow anchor. So the big toes are only going to be 1 inch apart. The knees are going to be soft, little bit forward and in. So now we're working our inward anchor. And we're just going to tip at the hip and come straight back up. Okay? So right there, push your hips back, drop the weight to about the knees, nice flat back, come back up. We got 15 reps here. 2, back up, 3, 4, toes stay on the ground. 5, 6, 7, 8, push your hips back every time. 9, hamstrings should be a little bit loaded. Knees are in. 10, anchor in. 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Okay, go to your weights. I want you to grab your number 3 dumbbells, 2 of them, okay? 2 number 3s, big weights. Big, heavy weights. Okay, so I've got 30 pounders, 1 in each hand. We're going to go into a split stance, just like that. It's not a long stance. It's a split stance. We've been working our hip hinge to the back and coming straight back up. We have activated and mobilized, actually mobilized and then activated a lot of our upper back. We have stretched and opened up the hips. So everything we have done so far has prepared us to do this heavy split stance, straight leg deadlift. And we're going to go 6 on the right, 6 on the left. Now that you know what we're doing, hopefully you don't lower the weight, but if you feel like you're not able to keep the space from the ribs to the hips, it would totally make sense for you to go down in weight. Okay, so I've got 30s in each hand. I'm kind of back up to my regular weights for number 3s. For me, 30 in each hand is my number 3s. Okay, so nice, strong. We've got a split stance. Nice big breath. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Same thing other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Set those weights down. We've got 1.5 minutes between sets. We've got one more set of those. I love that Deanne comes and checks in, says, I'm doing this later. So now is a good time if you have any questions today, okay? Just put them in the chat box. It doesn't seem like there's anything yet. So we always say, you know that your weights are heavy enough if in fact you need and appreciate the time between sets. I'm kind of in that realm right now. Okay, you ready? We're going to go right leg first. We've got 6 good reps. Okay, grab both hands, nice and strong. Right leg in front of left. Posture. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Same thing other side, nice big posture. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. All right. So sometimes we can take an entire session to work up to one big lift. It's patience, it's understanding the journey, the process, all of the above. All right. If I can't sit upright comfortably, do more reactive foam rolling on the glutes. I love that the question is so specific, Andrea. This is important, guys. We have to consider why you cannot sit upright. So this position right here. So first thing, Andrea, let's get you comfortable here. We're on the flat hands, and we talk a lot about measuring sticks. Like, how am I doing, right? Because we're only getting older. So we want to make sure that we're working to not lose mobility or gain mobility where we should have it. So here's where you should be able to sit straight up. Your hamstrings should pretty much touch the floor. So a lot of people with tight hamstrings are sitting there like this, and then their feet go out to the side. That's telling you, so if you're like, when you sit comfortably, your toes go out to the side and your knees are slightly bent. That's going to show you tight lateral hips and tightness through your hamstrings. And that could be further up the chain, but the goal is straight feet, flat legs, and be able to reach straight up. Just like that. Now that's not easy because the back side of the body becomes inhibited. It becomes inhibited because of tightness on the front side of the body. So if we're tight on the front side of the body, we're going to lose motion. We're going to lose posture. And we want to maintain openness and strength. Open on the front, strong on the back. Okay. All right. Let's double check here. Need to invest in heavier weights. Great problem to have. Andrea and everybody, or Patty, everybody else, if you are looking to get a set of dumbbells, the hyperwear.com, HYPER. If you go onto the ECFIT website, I'm pretty sure I have a link there. The dumbbells these are beautiful. You don't need the rack unless you're all into beautiful things in your basement. But this dumbbell set goes from 5 to 30, and it seems a little bit more durable. There is a 55-pound option, but I go to a gym and I still have my broken Bowflex, 45 and 50. But when you start getting higher, these I do recommend now that I've had them for a while. I recommend these dumbbells. If you want any questions, you guys know how to get a hold of me. All right. So it's a good problem to have. Get yourself a set of dumbbells and start thinking about building your home gym as cleanly and as inexpensively as possible. Okay. If one side is weaker than the other, do a couple of extra reps or on the weaker side help? It's such a good question, Vanessa. You know, we never know why that is. That could be something further up into your head and neck. It has never, as a fitness professional, it's never been something I have done to bring the body into balance. I think double arm exercises, what it tells me more than anything is don't get too far ahead on the right side if the left feels off. I've got a little bit of a shoulder thing. I'm not really sure what I did, but my left arm is just a little bit weaker than my right. And I'm just something I've come to kind of live with. It's not a big difference, but it's somewhat of a difference. So a couple extra reps, maybe that'll help, but I think we're better off just continuing to work through mobility and bring the nervous system up to meet the stronger side. When I sit upright, I work really hard and my hip flexors get weak. That's why we're going to make them stronger. Okay. So yes, hip flexors and hip extensors need to work together, teamwork. Not necessarily for live sessions. Do you have anything for the neck? Yes. Georgie, nice to see you. We've been working on Monday mobility. We just started working on upper back and neck, right? So we want to be able to hold the elbows behind the body. And the first thing I want you to do, everybody, if you're starting to feel this on your bicycle, especially, I want you to start working on this position, this position, this position, and this position. Riding your bike is going to get you stronger, but you don't want to get on your bike with a tight neck. So this is going to be a pre-ride routine. Side, side, up, and down. And we're going to keep working on that head position. Head position is really, really important. A lot of people, when they're doing planks, they end up with this forward head position. We're going to work, Georgie, the more we work with our foundation training, the better your head is going to feel. Remember, if you watch Jerry Maguire, the human head can be 9 to 12 pounds. This is 9 to 12 pounds. So we've got to keep the neck in a really nice stacked position. Georgie, if you want to reach out to me via email, I can give you a couple other things as well. Okay. All right. The Saturday live session. Is it not on your schedule? I will double check it. Doc and I talked about that. Doc Helma's good. He is going to do a breath work session on the YouTube channel on Saturday morning. So I put that on your schedule. Georgie, that's another one you're going to want to do because expansion of the rib cage is definitely an important part of staying strong with your head position. And we know that we're in a kind of a crappy crouched position if we're arrow. So, all right, you guys, you need to email me if you need individual help. I am here for you, Erin at ECFITstrength.com. Aloha.